Go change my jacket, my shirt, and pour a drink. Get that banner off. It's got my bloody name on the bottom. I don't want that on there. No, take that off.
Right, you're now live on YouTube. On your microphone store.
Tonight, in tonight's show, we are going to be discussing relationship scams and terms that we're starting to use for 2020. So let's get this party started. Welcome to Sunday night's Simplified Relationship Show. I'm Jay from JMC, your relationship coach here to simplify those relationship issues and struggles we have each and every day when it comes to relationships. I wish I could answer the questions for the tech side of things that we seem to be having with tonight, but it's all good. If any of you were around before, thank you very much for putting up with the issues we're having. We're just testing a new program, and hopefully it's all working and you can hear me well. And let's hope that you can. Let's just check a couple of the Paul, thank you very much for joining us. How are we? Evening. Sounds like an interesting topic. It is, Rose. You know very well, very well. Kenny, sitting there with my Sunday wine. Can't wait for your pearls of wisdom. You guys are too kind. You're showing me too much love. It's good. It's good. Oh, he's doing it twice. That's good. Oh, Miss Sandy decided to stay up. Thank you very much, gorgeous. Thank you for tuning in. Ken, audio's coming through. That is good. Thank you, buddy. If anyone was watching the earlier test, that was Kenny on the phone going through everything with us. So thank you. It's excellent. Excellent. And so are the comments, Kenny, quite quickly, quite repeatedly. So, yes, as we were saying, as I was saying, we were going to talk relationship scams because it has come. Look, it's not a new thing. Let me put it this way. It's not a new thing, relationship scams. And there's some recent stats that come through this year that just seem to be stating that these scams are going higher and higher in money lost. Now, the other thing with relationship scams, when they do these statistics, these are going to be based on the ones that people have admitted to and reported. And as most people would know, relationship scams, a lot of people are not going to report it because they don't want to look like a fool, you know, reporting something where they fell for something and gave away hundreds, thousands of dollars to someone that they thought was someone that was trying to connect with them online and found out that they were a scam. So the stats we're going to talk about tonight are going to be a little bit skewed, only the fact that they're only based on reported ones, because I know for a fact there's a lot of people that haven't reported them or don't report them. And sorry, I've got my phone going off here, which is silly of me. Turn the tech off. So, yes. So thank you to each and every one of you for joining tonight and tuning in for this Sunday night. How has your week been? Hopefully you've had a really good week and haven't had too many relationship issues. Let's hope so. Just a little bit personal touch point here. We just found out as a couple of hours ago here in Melbourne, as of midnight tonight, we can go and do something exciting like get this cut. So I have spoken to my lovely hairdresser, Izzy, and it looks like it might be Thursday. So Wednesday's show might still look a little shabby. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll look a little bit more presentable. So thanks for everyone putting up with this mess, but it is what it is. But thank you. I really appreciate it big time. So yeah, it's been a good overlays appearing. Yes, they're the overlays that are through our old program, Kenny, but we're doing well. Oh, yes, I should also put, if you don't know who I am, no, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, let me try something here. There we go. Okay, and that didn't work as well. There we are. Here I am. So, and I made to get rid of Kenny's comments. Oh, well, there we go. We're getting it there. We're getting it there. So it's all good. It's all good. There we go. So you know who you're talking to. We're doing all right. It's going to happen. It's getting better each and every week from all reports, and you guys have been giving me some great reports as well on how it's been working. So thank you, and thank you for putting up with all our craziness. So glad for you guys. Haircuts, yay! Yeah, exactly. We're looking a little shabby, but hey, we're getting there. We're getting there, which is really good. It's really good. So anyway. Firstly, as I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, I want to we're going to ask a question each week. I've got a pack of cards here, which are called the stay or leave cards. But I've gone through and looked at them all, and a lot of them are really good questions that we should all ask ourselves about our relationships, just to check in. And not just check in with the relationship, but check in with ourselves. If you may or may not know, if you've never met me before, I'm Jayson Mair, My business is Jayson Mair Coaching. I'm a relationship coach and have been doing this since 2007. Now, one of the things we have to do as a coach is we need to get to know the person that we're working with. So whoever that is, if it's a couple or if it's a individual, we need to get to know who that person is by the way they think. By getting to understand the way you think, I need to ask you a stack of questions. Now, once I get to know who you are and I start to work with you, I also need to get you, without making it like I'm making you do this, I need to go through and get you sometimes to challenge your beliefs. Now, it's not to be rude and say, I'm going to challenge you this. It's more to say the belief system that you're using this day and age in Dimension 2020, is it serving you as well as it used to? Because there are a lot of things that we take on when it comes to relationships. And just for you, those of you who are new tonight's show, it's a very it's more a casual conversation about relationships tonight's show. We will talk about stats. We will talk about a few other things. And I will also talk to you guys. So any comments you've got, please leave them in the comment section below. If you're watching on Facebook, please subscribe and hit the notification. So each time we come on, you get to see me. And if you don't, at least you can watch the replay. So I appreciate you for all coming on and being here for that sort of thing. So as I was saying, I'm here. I have to try to make sure people's belief systems, and I don't mean necessarily, God or the universe or anything else, but the things that we believe when we're kids stick with us for a while. And I need to, so you might think, all people are good until, not, show that they're not good. Or you might have a belief system where all people are bastards. All people are nasty unless they prove themselves otherwise. So by doing that, then at least you're checking in to make sure who you are, what your belief systems are when it comes to, are they serving you? Because sometimes there are people that I get to work with and their belief systems really are not serving them. They were great when they were like teenagers. They were great when they were 20s. They weren't too bad when they're 30s. But when they get to the late 30s, or they get into a relationship, or they get into their 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s or whatever age it is, they will find that what they held close to them in their belief system hasn't been serving them. And sometimes it's caused them to miss opportunities with new relationships. And I don't mean just personal relationship, love relationships, but relationships with friends, family, work colleagues, all sorts of stuff like that. So it does become a bit of an issue when it comes to belief systems. And as coaches, we like to do that. Now, we don't like to because we want to, make you feel bad. It's to help you. We are here to guide you through it and get the best out of you. So whatever decision you make in your relationship or in your life or your work or whatever it is we're working with, and that's even the same as life coaches, what they're trying to do is trying to get the best out of you and just checking in and saying, okay, this is a belief system you have. Is it working for you? Is it serving you? Great. If it's great, fantastic. Keep it. You might go, yeah, no, I don't feel that way anymore. It's like, okay, haircuts. People that are watching who know me very well would know this is not my normal haircut. They'd also know that most of my life, my hair was quite long, but it's not anymore. Now, is it a good, like if I'm in my 40s heading towards my 50s and I'm, got long hair, is that serving me well? Well, it may be not. I might look like I'm trying to be, 19 when I'm 55. And sometimes, and we all see some people sometimes are like, does that hairdo really, I don't think it's doing you justice. And then they go get a haircut and it's all changed and you're like, whoa, wow, look at you. Look how awesome you look. But it's not just from other people's, it's yourself. You might finally, go and get a haircut or, I don't know, you might get your teeth whitened, you might get a few things done, and all of a sudden you're feeling better about you. And isn't that what it's about? It's not about necessarily impressing other people. you shouldn't be doing it to impress other people. You should be doing it to feel good. So you look in the mirror and you go, hey, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Look at me. New hair, glasses, whatever. New clothes. You buy new clothes. I'm not wearing the same clothes I wore in 1987. Trust me. If you've seen those photos, which are just down here, you wouldn't want me to be wearing what I wore back then. That's what we're talking about. So with these cards, and I have gone off track, but I haven't. I'm just giving you these cards I bought a while ago, and I was using them with clients, not for the purpose they're made for, but I found that sometimes the best thing as a coach, one of the best things I love that I get the most out of is when I can get a breakthrough with someone I'm working with. And when I say breakthrough, it's when I can ask you a question that makes you just go, whoa. I've never thought of it that way. It's like a aha moment where you just bang, it just hits you and you're like, oh, wow, yeah, that's okay. I was talking to a very good friend yesterday afternoon on the phone, and I'd watched a video with a guy that deals with brains and how we think and stuff like that. And he asked a client of his in this video 5 questions. And I asked the similar questions to this friend of mine. And even though I didn't ask the questions exactly the way that this guy asked, I did ask, I think, the 3rd or 4th question in a little bit of a different way. I took it down a different path. And I think the look on her face, and as well as a look on her face, but also what she said when I asked her that was like, wow, yeah, okay. You could see her head ticking over and over like, wow, that's leave that with me. I'm going to go now and spend some time with family, but leave that with me. That is powerful. Someone asking you the right question. Or a question that makes you think. So I've juggled these questions around and I've put them all into the device in front of us. And I'm going to I'm going to let it scan right now to see which question it pulls up. And I don't think it's going to look as pretty as I thought it would look because it's in green. So bear with me. Let's see what question we get coming up on here. All right. We're looking. And let's see what we got. Here we go. This week's question. And I want you to, if you're going to answer this, by all means, put a hashtag QA in the comments below, or hashtag A if you want for answer, and put your answer in there. Okay. So I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. On balance, did your childhood set you up with the right psychological tools required for you to be happy? So to break that down into simple things, what I'm asking is, there we go. What I'm asking is, with your childhood, what you went through, what you were taught, the beliefs and values that you're giving as a child, does that set you up? Has it set you up to be happy in adulthood? Deep question, isn't it? Look at that. You just have a look. On balance, did your childhood set you up with the psychological tools, so the mental tools required for you to be happy? Okay, so have a think about that. Put a hashtag A in the bottom with an answer. And we may have a look at those later on if we get time. I will ask it towards the end of the, I don't know why I used green writing on a mustard colored background. It makes it very hard. I think some people who are colorblind will struggle to see that, but you heard me read it out. So by all means, there's the question that we're going to ask for this week, and don't be afraid to put your answers down the bottom there. So let's just check in quickly to see what comments we've got coming in through you guys. No, there you go. straight away off the top of the bat, April, no. And you know what? I'm thinking that's probably going to be the overall answer for tonight's question, because look, as parents, you try to do the best you can with your kids and so forth, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work out. And then there's just some parents who should have never given birth in the first place. I mean, some of these people we give guns and cars to, we really shouldn't have been able to allow them to have children, right? You know what I mean, right? Okay, yep, for sure. What do we got here? Ken, no. Makes you think, though, doesn't it? I mean, it's easy to say no, but when you think of it, on balance, did your childhood set you up with the mental tools required for you to be happy? And in psychological terms, a child is like anywhere from 0 to 13, 15, they're talking about. Because 0 to 7 is when the manual of your life is written. Between 7 and 15 is when you put it together and try it out and see what works and doesn't work for you. So it gets you thinking, doesn't it? It's like, well, and then you've got to say, okay, did your parents do the best they can with what they got, or did they just freak it up? Okay, just saying, or had no idea, or were alcoholics, or drunks, or druggos, or narcissists, or whatever they were. Still some people say they did the best they can with what they had. I beg to differ. Some do, some don't. So, yeah. So anyway, let's get into tonight's stats. We'll pop that question up throughout the night. We'll just throw it up there one more time while I get the question up. The stats that we're talking about tonight. Okay, so there's the question. Now, what have we got happening here tonight? Let's have a look. All right, let's go back. So we're going to go into some stats. We're going to talk tonight, right now anyway, relationship scams. The definition of a relationship scam. It's when someone who is, here we got another comment. We've just got a couple of more comments. We'll just jump in before we move over to that new area. We've got April. As parents, we cannot give what we do not have. That said, it's important for us to do better for our kids once we know better. And the only way to know better is to surround ourselves with others who have more wisdom than we do. Very, very good answer. Very good answer, April. Yes, definitely. And also to be able to admit, okay, we don't have that. We're not very good at that, and go and seek it. Because, hey, when you go to school, I don't know about, where you are in your country for those of you who are watching, but in Australia, we've got math, we got science, we got English, we got manual arts, which is what they call Shop A and Shop B, which is the woodwork and metalwork. We had graphics, we had home ec, which is home economics, like cooking and stuff like that. Some would have religion, and then you get into high school and you've got a few other specific classes. There's two classes they forgot to add, which I really do. Which one is finance. Hey, we're only learning how to handle their money from what we learn as kids, right? And that's not always a good point. And two, sorry, I'll turn that around. Two is how to be a parent, how to raise another human being. There is no manual on how to raise a human being, another human being. So that's why when people talk to me and sort of say stuff about, oh, the relationship's not good, but, we want to get pregnant. And I'm like, I don't know. And I have to explain, okay, I'm not here to tell you what you shouldn't do. That's not my job. What I will say is you're bringing another human being into the world, and that human being, he's going to need you, has to have you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year for up to 18 years. Sometimes they leave earlier. Sometimes we know some people that have got kids still at home at 30. So you are saying, okay, my relationship is a bit of a struggle, but at the same time, I'm going to bring another human being in that's going to rely on both of us when we can't even rely on each other. And that's why, you've got to give yourself the best chance possible. If you're going to have a child, you should really think about the consequence, because a lot of who are watching tonight and stuff haven't had it easy because partners have left or partners bailed when people were pregnant, or it happened and they, father wouldn't admit, or, there's so many different stories. I'm not going to go into that tonight, but you've got to understand, but when people make the decision to do it to try and save relationships, never have a child to save a relationship. I'm not into violence, but I should slap you when I hear someone say that to me. Really, should just that. Wake up to yourself, right? All right, right. Okay. Where are we? Sandy, no. See what I'm saying? I'm thinking the overall consensus is going to be a no tonight, but that's good. I want you guys to think about it. I think, Sandy, you've got a sibling living with you. I'd like to hear what her response would be too. Just, siblings, like to see what siblings say, if they have the same answers or not. So, Ken, when I become a parent, they sent us to birthing classes, but the most important classes on raising kids did not exist. Yeah. Because those birthing classes, if I'm right, they're all about how to deal with the birth and breathing and when the baby comes and stuff, like setting you up just for the day it's born. There's no classes like, okay, you've had the kid, go home now. Bye-bye. Go on. Yeah. You don't know what to do with it. You'll figure it out. Just go home. Just put it in a bed and, oh, yeah, well, we can send you a nurse to check on you occasionally and help you if you struggle mentally and that. But no. I know as a kid, I helped raise my half brothers and sisters. And it's amazing when I have a drink, I don't have like liquid squirting out of my fingers because we use cloth nappies. They never teach you how to put a cloth nappy on until you get a pin. And as you put through, so at the end, you're just walking around with, blood spots all over your fingers. And they're like, oh, did you change the babies? And yeah. Thank God for plastic, the sticker ones and stuff like that, nappies and stuff like that. But because, oh, man, probably why I don't have any sensational in my hand. No, I've got sensation now. I know for a while I didn't, but that's probably why. When you're being pricked too much, it's not a good feeling. Get it? You like it? Yeah, probably really bad. Really bad. Really bad. Let's see what else we got going on. When I became a parent, they said, oh, yes, we've just seen that. Why is that? It's coming up on both YouTube and as a believer, there is a manual for how to raise a human being. It's the Bible. Well, yes, that is true. That is true. But even the Bible, a lot of people still don't read the Bible, if I can say, April. And that's not being discriminative against anyone, but it's like I find some people, and you've probably met it, and there's a lot of people here watching, that will get to a point where they'll read over the points they want to know about, but they forget the other parts. That's not important. I'll just read this part. But then it's taken out of context, isn't it? So you've really got to read the whole, the whole thing. Don't just read one or two verses and then skip a chapter and whatever else, because you're just missing some bits. And it's like tonight. If any of you were watching half an hour before, Kenny and I were trying to get this all running perfectly, and I had to do a test. And the test was, I had to. You can't just half watch a video. I watched 29 videos today on setting a few things up on that, and I'm just all videoed out. I mean, some are a half an hour and 40 minutes, some are only 5 or 10 minutes, but it just gets crazy when you're having to do that. It's the same with the Bible. It's the same with any book. If you're going to read it start to finish and then go over it again. Don't read bits and pieces because you kind of miss bits and pieces. So So, yes, so there we are. So, anyway, we were going to go in and talk about the stats tonight. So, let's just see if this banner is going to work or not. Okay, it is going to work, but then it's going to cut me off. So, I didn't set something up there. So, anyway, in that banner, we are talking about, I'm going to have to do this manually. We're talking about romance scams, okay? So, first thing first, is there any of you guys and girls that have known someone who's been nearly scammed? That's probably the question I should have asked tonight. So, yeah, have you guys known anyone that's been scammed or nearly scammed? I will tell you right now, honestly, I have probably had probably a dozen. I will tell you right now, a dozen scammers get online, and I'm going to discuss where very soon. Will get online and will try and scam us. And they're using nearly every app. Doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever else. They're all trying it. So it's it's very interesting. So, but anyway, there's a couple of different sites I went to. I didn't just do Australia. So, for example, in Australia, now this is just the heading: romance scammers move to new apps, costing Australians more than $28.6 million for 1 year, 2019. So last year, you thought this year was bad. Imagine how many people are probably getting scammed right now when they're stuck at home and not being able to mingle with people. So this story came out on the 9th of February earlier this year. I'll just go through it quickly. Scammers are using new online platforms that take advantage of their victims, with dating and romance scams making up 1/5 of losses across all scams reported to the Scam Watch in 2019. Australians reported almost 4,000 dating and romance scams in 2019, with losses of more than $28.6 million. And these numbers will be just the tip of the iceberg. Around 37.5% of reports resulted in a loss, with the average loss of more than $19,000. The average loss of $19,000. What can you do with $19,000? And I tell you now, a lot of those have gone on credit cards. A lot of them sold, items and so forth to pay for that. And I did a video on this about 2 years ago, and I think it was like 21 million. So it's going up and it's getting worse. And the reason I bring it up is because there is a lot of people that were telling me they know someone who has been scammed. Totally. Like I said, a dozen times it's happened to me over the last 10 years. I had 2 at the start of this year. And I'm going to be open and honest, because if it could happen to me, as some of you know, separated last year, and we got, I moved in here, things were going well, and I commented on a post on Instagram. So I commented on a post on Instagram, and it was for a very famous, well, I won't say famous, but she's an up-and-coming star, but she's probably been in 2 or 3 of the biggest movies in the last 3 to 5 years. One, you would not recognize it because she had that much makeup on and she was a distinctive robot. And the other one, you'd recognize her and she was in the main movie plus the sequel. Now, I get this message about an hour or so later after I commented. I just went, oh yeah, great video or whatever else, or I might have given it a bit more info. And next minute, a comment comes up through Instagram and says, "Hi, Jason. Thank you so very much for your comment. I appreciate when fans have some really good input or positive input on my posts. So thank you." And I look at this and I'm like, no, she wouldn't have commented. I mean, she's a major movie star. What she's going to be just commenting? Well, she just randomly. And I went, oh yeah, no worries at all. Thank you. That person's name. And above it was, and I said, well, why does it say your name? So, all right, I'll just say who it is. Anyone knows Karen Gillan? She's the redhead that was in Jumanji 2. And she's also the robotic sister of what's her name in Guardians of the Galaxy in the Avengers movies. I'm trying to think of her name. I've drawn a blank. Anyway, it had this person's Karen Gillan's name, but Karen Gillan 112 or something like that. And she said, oh, because this is a private account I use so people don't realize it's me. They think it's a fake account, but I just use it to reach out to fans that I appreciate when they do that. I'm like, yeah, sure. Anyway, cut a long story short, this went on for like 2.5 months, 3 months. And even though I knew the whole time, because there's a friend of mine who knew about it, she go, oh, how's your movie star friend? I'm like, yeah, great, fantastic. Just talked rubbish because I just knew it was a scam. I said, I'm going to leave these guys. I'm like, how are they going to make a movie star want money from me? Oh, they had a good story. All of a sudden, and what happened though, too, halfway through it, another one tried to scam me using the same person. So there were 2 people trying to be this person. And I said, oh, you realize that you guys need to get your shit together because there are 2 of you trying to say you're Karen Gillan. Oh, I'm Karen Gillan. Well, I'm Karen Gillan. I'm like, well, you guys just fight it out because now you're making it even more obvious you guys are scammers. And she's like, no, I'm not. Look, this is a picture of my bank account details and it's got bank account. And I'm like, that's no good because even you can't ring a bank to see, is this does this account belong to this person? For privacy reasons, you can't do that. So they're going to pull all stops. And then all of a sudden it went from, things were going well to all of a sudden she was trying to get rid of a manager. Her manager is trying to ditch her out of a whole heap of money because she signed some contract. It's not her signature. She's going to go to court. And they played it very well because you'd go, are you okay? You okay? And they're like, can't talk. They wouldn't talk for a day or 2. And then they're like, oh, now I need to raise, $40,000. And I'm like, what for? Oh, because I have a real estate business back home in England and they've shut all my accounts down. And if I don't get the $40,000 and have to pay this fee and that, they're going to, and I'm like, okay, well, good luck with that. No, can't you help me? And this is what they do. There was a girl that was had left an abusive relationship and was living in a church in Utah, sent me photos and everything else like this. This was like about 8 or 9 years ago. There were people, 2 of them were Army and Navy cadets who were overseas and couldn't say where they were for privacy reasons. One worked on a oil rig. Another one was trying to escape a war-torn area. There is just so many things. Now, if I go into this story here, it'll give you a little bit more of a background. But I just wanted to tell you that from my personal experience, because there are so many people out there that have actually, tried to do it. So they'll try to anyone, guys, girls, whatever. If you're vulnerable and they know that you're single or whatever, they'll just try and do it. So, no more comments. Okay, so, beyond traditional online dating websites, the highest losses were from romance scams originating on Instagram and Facebook. Conventional dating platforms such as Tinder or Match.com also had high losses. A new trend emerging in 2019 was scammers increasingly turning to apps like Google Hangouts or online games such as Words with Friends and Scrabble to con their victims. It says here, we've seen an increase in reports from people who did not originally seek an online relationship but have been caught up in dating and romance scams, said the ACCC's Deputy Chair, Delilah Rickard. No longer are dating websites the only contact method for dating and romance scams, with an increasing number of reports coming from these emerging websites and apps. Now, it goes into a little bit more detail about where are you, person? If the person sends money, the scammer will ask for more. If they don't, the scammer may become aggressive or use guilt to manipulate their victims. Now, this is 3 stories I've heard in the last week have told me that's exactly what happened. If you're interacting with someone online, it's important to be alert and consider the possibilities that the approach may be a scam, said Ms. Rickard. Don't give out personal information, including your financial details, to anyone you haven't met in person, no matter who they say they are. And don't share intimate photos or use webcams in any intimate setting. Now, I'll add to this because a couple of them that did me tried to scam me. And I'll tell you now, I'm not lying. I didn't actually hand over any money whatsoever. I was actually pretty onto it sort of thing. You could see them coming a mile away. In my early days, the first couple, yeah, I will admit I was starting because I was single and I can't remember. I might have come out of it. Oh, I think it was when I was first training and coaching, and I was doing a lot of self-exploration. And if you guys know my story, I was sorting myself out because I was the common denominator that was stuffing up a lot of relationships. So I had to go through and do a bit of work on myself. But there were a couple of areas where I sort of went a little bit dark and struggled a little bit because I didn't feel good about what I'd been doing. And it just happened to be they got me at the right time. But I never handed over money. I actually at the time didn't have any money because I'd spent so much on my training. I had nothing left. I was working and sleeping and training and working and sleeping. So I had no money to hand over. But they would send all these really nice photos and say, oh, look, I'm really struggling and, you're the only person that's there for me and that you're always so nice to me and everything else. There was also something else they said here that triggered something in me then. Oh, that's right. They would say, I'd say, oh, can we talk? Can we video call on Skype or something like that? Oh, I don't know. The church doesn't have very good Wi-Fi and that. So they were occasionally would do it. And it happened this year too. The one who was the Karen Gillan one, they rang on a video call for about 4 seconds. And it was so like they would put a camera up against another phone and you couldn't hear it. You just see her going. And I went, I can't hear you. And then it just dropped out because they had like a high quality picture. They had projected it up on the screen to make it look like she's trying to talk to me. And I'm like, and they even sent a couple of photos through to say who she was and to show that it was her laying on the couch or something like that. And then you take those photos and sometimes you can actually go through, I think it's Google View, and you can actually check to see if there's other images like that out there. I'd probably get an 1 to 2 emails, about 3 emails a month from people that say, hey, Jay, I've watched your videos. What, can you tell me if this person's a scammer or not? And I try to run the picture through. It doesn't always come out well, but it's the stories. It's the same story. If you're meeting someone online, you have to see them. This day and age, you can have video calls. It's so easy, and if they can't, don't do it. I tell you now, don't do it. They are pulling your heartstrings and trying to win you over as much as possible. And then, as even 3 people said to me this week, that they get aggressive when you don't. The Karen Gillan got aggressive with me. Oh, how dare you? You've got a business and stuff. And I'm like, I don't have access to that sort of money. Oh, you could do this. And I'm like, and I just blocked them straight away. I'm like, I've been waiting for this to happen. So as I said, don't agree to carry packages internationally or agree to transfer money for someone else, as you may be inadvertently committing a crime if you become concerned by the conversation, such as if the person is asking for favors or money, cease communication. People who think they may have provided their banking details to a scammer should contact their bank or financial institution as soon as possible. Now, I'm going to break down some facts and figures, and this is through the ACCC here in Australia, but I'm also going to touch on, I've also got one from the FTC in the States as well. Facts and figures, let's go. And this is from the accc.gov.au/media release/romance scammers. So if you go to the ACCC, type in romance scams, you'll see stories for every year this has been going on. 31% of dating and romance scams occurred via social media and online forums. The highest losses, over 33%, or $9.1 million, occurred via social media. Instagram, Facebook. Instagram was the most common social media website, totaling 8.8% of the dating and romance scam reports. Facebook was the social media website that incurred the highest losses, totaling 7.3% of all losses. Now, as I said at the start of the show, this is also the ones that are reported. I've never reported any of the ones I did because I didn't lose any money. I did report the profiles to WhatsApp because I said, oh, do you want to jump across to WhatsApp? It's easy. And you think, okay, that's good because it's encrypted. But that's why they do it, because then you can't track them. They can't track you, but you can't track them either. And that's the reason why. And I'm just going to take a swig for a sec. Here's another thing. People aged between 45, mind you, this happened to me when I was in my 30s. 45 to 64 were the most affected, with 1,470 reports and over $18 million in losses. This represents 63% of the total losses to dating and romance scams. Women reported 54.9%. That's 2,165 reports of all dating and romance scam reports, with the remainder 43.3%, 1,707 reports made by men, and 1.8%, 74 reports did not specify gender. Women reported the highest total losses of $21.5 million. So women between the ages of 45 and 64 reported the highest amount of losses, $21.5 million. Ladies, they are playing on your emotions way harder than the men. At least the men, maybe we're dumb enough to just go, oh, we don't have any money. Where you guys, ladies, you are smart about it, but at the same time, they pull on your emotions because you're emotional beings. You're more emotional than we are. So yeah, 75.3% of all losses were women. Men reported 7 million, or 24.6% of the total losses. The majority of losses occurred via bank transfer, totaling 33.8%, or almost 9.7%. This was followed by other payment methods such as iTunes. Yes, because I ask you can you get an iTunes card for them? Steam, Google Play gift cards, which total 8.8 million, or 30% of all losses. And I'll give you the final breakdown. You had, this is a breakdown of websites or apps. The lowest was 2 reports of $1,082 through eBay. Then it goes Twitter, LinkedIn, Viber, Skype, Tinder. Tinder is 1, 2, 3, 4. Tinder was 5th on the list at 176 reports of $814,000 scammed. Facebook then jumps up to $2,077,224, which is over 324 reports. Instagram next at 347, but that was 347. So more reports, but less money, just 975,000. Online dating sites, 665. RSVP, I'll tell you right now, RSVP for more reports is the worst one. Plenty of Fish was another one. And that has been total of $7,832.89 when it comes to online dating sites being scammed. And then there was 849 of other, which was 6,215,000. So these are, here we go. Here's a breakdown of the total, the websites. Plenty of Fish, 230 reports, 714,000. Google Hangouts, 640,000. Zeus, 555, Match.com, 856,000, Words with Friends, just under 600,000, Kik, eHarmony, Badoo, Bumble, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, and Instagram. So interesting stats, people, interesting stats. You've really just got to watch yourself and be careful. I know it's hard when you're single, or your relationship's not going well, or you're just feeling a bit lost. But these guys, if you go onto 60 Minutes, there's actually if you go into YouTube and look up on 60 Minutes Australia romance scams, there's actually there's a story they did a couple of years ago where they actually tracked it down. And I think it was somewhere like in the Philippines or somewhere like that. And there was this office with about 10 people in there, and they had charts on the wall and people's names and who they were trying to scam and how far through it. It was a very well organized. It was like, running a business like a bank or something, and they're trying to scam you out any way, shape, or form. As a friend of mine said to me today, she said, they start saying sir or ma'am or miss, they use, and it's broken English. Biggest tip I say, if you can't talk to them on camera and actually have a conversation with them, like I'm doing with you right now, stop it. Because I've heard every excuse under the sun. A lot of these will tell you very similar stories that they'll use. Now, if I jump across to the ftc.gov, news events, the headline here, and this is from February 12th, romance scams rank number one on total reported losses. So this is from the FTC in the States. They say that people looking for romance are hoping to be swept off their feet, not caught in a scam. But tens of thousands of reports in Consumer Sentinel show that a scam is what many people find. In 2018 alone, Sentinel had more than 21,000 reports of romance scams, and people reported losing a total of $143 million. Now, in Australia, I said 26.8 or 28.6. In America, $143 million just for 2018 in America. That's more than any other consumer fraud type identified in Sentinel. These reports are rising steadily. In 2015, by comparison, people filed 8,500 reports compared to 21,018 2018. Sentinel reports dollar losses of $33 million. So from 2015 to 2018, it went from, where are we? It went from, what did I say? Oh, I've lost it now. Well, yeah, it went from virtually, what is wrong with it? $33 million in 2015, so 5 years ago, to 2 years ago, $143 million in 3 years. And now that we have all these extra apps and dating sites and stuff, it's happening. Romance scammers lure people with phony online profiles, often lifting photos from the web to create attractive, convincing personas. They might make up names or assume the identities of real people. Reports indicate that scammers are active on dating apps, but also on social media sites that aren't generally used for dating. For example, many people say the scam started with a Facebook message. Booyah! That's where it came from. It does state here the median reported loss to romance scams is about 7 times higher than any other frauds. 2018 of $2,600. Once these fraudsters have people by the heartstrings, they say they need money, often for a medical emergency or some other misfortunes. They often claim to be in a military or stationed abroad, which explains why they can't meet in person. Pretending to need help with the travel costs for a long-awaited visit or is another common use. Scammers can reap large rewards for time spent courting their targets. The median individual loss to a romance scammer in 2018 was $2,600, about 7 times higher than the median loss across all other fraud types. So, and the figures were based on 21,368 reports submitted directly to the FTC and by all Sentinel data contributors in 2018 that were classified as romance scams. So, as I said at the start, people, this is just based on the ones that get reported. Like I said, apart from what I reported to like Instagram and WhatsApp, I didn't report it to any of these. So it's probably, I'm not going to lie, and I would say probably double. But I didn't lose money. So I was okay. I switched on. But I tell you now, even when it happened 10, 12 years ago, when I was probably 15 years ago, when I was in, a little bit of a dark place, yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy that so many people are falling for this. So, but let's have a look. Any No, these are the comments from before. People are meeting at a bar are just as bad. How do you know they are legit? That is very true, Ken. The thing is, though, when a bar, you at least they're there. You can pinch them, you can slap them if you want, whatever. They're there. You know what they look like. Yes, they can still lead you astray, but you have a little bit more. You can see the mannerisms. You can maybe see their clothing. You get a little bit more information from them. You might, they might pull out their wallet. You might notice their driver's license or, something like that. You can find a little bit more about. You can't do that with someone online. You can try and scan and look for their you can try and scan and look for their phone number and so forth, but it's not necessarily works that well, sort of thing. So yeah, look, I wanted to bring this up because it seems to be coming up again and quite a lot, and it's just getting very ridiculous. There's actually a page I follow, Advocate for Romance Scams on Facebook, and this is actually a real page, and it is a slap them. That's the new dating technique. Yeah, exactly. exactly, Ken, for sure. Where are we? There is a page. Sorry about this. I will, because I only just came up on, and it is if you're in America, this woman is fantastic for advocates. Okay, yeah, it's called the Advocating Against Romance Scammers. I'll see if I can show that to you there. If you're in America, this woman has been having, I can't think of her name. I'm really sorry to tell you. Where is it? I've got one of the old messages I had here. Anyway, she is fantastic. Kathy, her name is. She is fantastic. She's had meetings with government officials over there. She's had all sorts of meetings and that, trying to get some of the social medias like Facebook and Instagram and that, which are owned by the same people, to do something about it, because it's happening way too often, and it's just ridiculous. It really is. So we need to make sure that if we're feeling like it's a scam, please reach out to me. By all means, you can DM me on the socials, on Instagram and Facebook, and YouTube. Send me a message and just say, can we talk privately? By all means, I won't talk to anyone. I won't tell anyone about who you are. So that's fine. But I want you to make sure, send me an email even at jay@jasonmair.com, because I get quite a lot of them when it comes to the scams that a lot of people are sending through and asking questions about. So definitely we need to look out for each other too. So anyway, we want to jump across to the other topic we want to talk tonight about, which is, and while I'm here, I will throw the question up if any of you have just joined. I threw a question up at the start of the Sunday night show, and this is the question, as you can see. On balance, did your childhood set you up with the psychological tools required for you to be happy? Have a think of that. Just going to have a sip for a moment. Yes, so there we have it. We will have a think of that. If you want to put your answer in the comments, put a hashtag A or QA and your answer at the bottom. Be interested to see. So far, the majority is no. They were not set up for it. So, yeah, by all means, don't be afraid to put your comment in there and let us know what you think. Now, as we are in what we're calling hashtag Dimension 2020, there are a lot of relationship terms and so forth that have been created over the last couple of years, like catfishing and scamming and all sorts of stuff, there happens to be 5 new dating slang terms that have been created during Dimension 2020. And I'm going to discuss them with you right now. So let's get into it. I did have there it is, and it shuts me off. So you can see it. There they are there. We're going to talk about those 5 little tips, but I'm going to go back to the camera because it's not doing what I want it to do. So it's way too early, as it says, and this is from the website askmen.com, dating/dating advice. A story by Ian Stauber back in July put this together. And I just found it interesting because some of the new terms they're using are some are quite self-explanatory, some are not. So first one is quarantine and chill. Yep, Netflix and chill's been taken over by quarantine and chill. For years now, the phrase Netflix and chill has existed in our culture lexicon as a dual-purpose term. What started as a euphemism for a stay-at-home date that shifted from movie watching to hookup without much of an effort become, for many, just a way to describe what they did after getting home from work, eat dinner, watch Netflix, and veg out. However, pandemics have a way of shaking things up, and the phrase quarantine and chill is bringing back the sexier implications of the and chill portion of the saying. Really? There's only one reason many people would lock themselves in an apartment with someone else, and it's not because they respect them as a conversationalist. That reason, you ask? To hook up possibly a whole lot. Very true. Through quarantining and chilling is technically a way to catch the coronavirus. It's a decidedly safer approach than anything where you're hanging out with more than one other person. So virtually they're just saying it combines the concept of a quarantine, enforced isolation to prevent the spread of the disease, and the dating term Netflix and chill. Pretty simple, right? Anyone done any quarantining and chill? Ken, April, Sandy, anyone? Paulie, anyone? I think Ken. I think you might have been quarantining and chilling last night, maybe. A date night last night, did you not, buddy? I think so. Let's have a look. Definition number 2, sexually isolating. Sounds pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Men who struggle to find sexual partners have been mocked for a long time in today's climate. Online-driven terms like incel, that's I-N-C-E-L, which became popular on Reddit, have surpassed virgin or loser as the insult choice. Oh, okay. So this is on Reddit. Instead of being a virgin or a loser, you're an incel, or you're sexually isolating, apparently. But having sex isn't necessarily something to be proud of, and not having sex isn't necessarily embarrassing. It's just a question of what you want in life, and the pressure men face to be sexually promiscuous or dominant can muddy people's ideas of what's best for them. Thankfully, the COVID-19 pandemic has given the celebrant a new framework for their celibacy. Rather than a mark of shame, it's a mark of pride. By abstaining from hookups, which can easily lead to the coronavirus transmission, you're helping flatten the curve by keeping people out of your hospitals and keeping the world healthy. And isn't that what we all want? Isn't it? Isn't it? Really? You're a hero, and heroes deserve titles of honor, not insults. You're sexually isolating for the common good. Kudos to you. Bravo. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Term number 3, Corona Clinger. What do you reckon that's me? Let's just check what everyone's saying as we get down here. Sandy, yes, she's been sexually isolating. Yes. Yes, even if, yeah, she has. Yes, definitely. Kenny, date night to remember. Even though you put day night to remember, but I know what you mean. Date night to remember. That's good. See, Kenny's one of the old school guys. He still, makes sure that him and his wife go out on a date night, even if the person he's helping online, he has to tell them to get off and go get ready because his wife's waiting for him. I don't know who that would be either. So let's have a look. Corona Clinger. Has anyone got any ideas what that is about? Let's have a look. You've heard of cuffing season by now? Surely. The fact that people often couple up in the fall and split up in the spring to benefit from body heat in the colder months. Ooh. I'll admit, when I read this today, I'm like, cuffing season. I've never heard this term. So if you've never heard it, you're not the only one. I've never heard it. But anyway, as it said, it's for couples to hook up in autumn in Australia or fall in the States and split up in the spring to benefit from the body heat. Snuggle weather, we call it here. And then there's someone's put up here on Twitter, coronavirus is the most urgent cuffing season ever. Okay, Addison Dow. Very interesting, very interesting. Well, similar principles apply to the COVID-19 pandemic. Being lonely when you literally have to be alone is the worst. So if someone likes you, you get a little bit, when a global crisis occurs, they desire to be by your side, can get cranked up a whole lot. Don't take this the wrong way, people. Yes and no. This could mean a lot of... That, ladies and gents, is the Corona Clinger. Someone who wants your companionship now, but who will vanish as soon as they get a chance. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Get a chance to date around again. Instead of cuffing season, it's called coughing season. Oh, so people are getting with people to date with them because of the virus and they're in lockdown. But then when everything goes back to normal, they're bailing on them. Does that make sense? Okay. There we go. Interesting. What? Not that question. Yes. Yeah, exactly. All right. When the kids go to school, we play. School holidays. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to leave that as far as I'm not going to touch that with a barge pole, as we would say here in Australia. Number 4, it's a dating behavior. Bear fishing. So like bear, grizzly bear fishing. And it's funny, this site actually tells you how to say it. Bear fishing, pronunciation. Catfishing is a common online dating behavior where you pretend to be someone different online with the intention to scam or mislead someone else emotionally. From catfishing, which is what we've been talking about with the romance scams tonight, from catfishing came kitten fishing, the act of fibbing about yourself rather than the outright lying, and dog fishing, where your online dating profile features pictures of you with dogs that you don't actually own. Okay, so for those of you who are not single, would you want to be single right now? And sorry for those that are single, look what we're dealing with. Seriously? I mean, okay, so we got the catfishing, right? We understand that. That's where all the scammers are. We got kitten fishing, the act of fibbing about yourself rather than outright lying. I would say kitten fishing would be those people that rock up dates I hear a lot of, and people will say, oh, he had his profile at 6'1" and he was like 5.5 foot. And he's rocked up and he's way shorter. Yeah, that's probably kitten fishing, saying certain things about themselves or not. Then there is dog fishing, where your online dating profile features pictures of you with dogs that you don't actually know. Is that your dog? No, I don't have it. Well, you've got a picture of a dog there. Oh, that was just a dog. It was Patty. And someone took a photo of it and they thought I looked good with it. Oh, really? Really? Seriously, you're going to pull that? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Seriously, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with people these days? Now, say hello to the coronavirus pandemic inspired concept of bear fishing. We thinking it's going to have something to do with Bear Grylls? Let's check it out. With early runs on grocery stores leading to massive shortage of toilet paper, bear fishing is when you pretend you have tons of toilet paper at home in the hopes of getting a crush who has none to come over. don't think I've read this one before, and I'm see, the etymology is bear fishing is named for charming toilet paper's adorable bear mascots. No, it doesn't really exist, but yes, it could be if this continues to be an issue indefinitely. This and then it's got a quote in here. This guy I was messaging just sent me a picture of his bathroom with a giant 24 pack of toilet paper. Is it really his bathroom, or am I getting bear fished? Really? Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Sorry. I don't know what's going on there. People are losing their freaking minds. That's all I can say. Seriously. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. What do we got here? Sandy, what? Not the question. Oh yes, we've already covered that. No worries. Sorry, just checking the comments. Bear fishing. I like this guy because he has a bathroom full of toilet paper. I don't even know if I want to. I don't even want to. I don't even know if I want to go to number 5. Seriously, are we seriously doing this? Are we seriously doing? We've gone over an hour, and this is what we discovered: bear fishing. Okay, this one is a sex term. The corona cabin fever. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. Unlike bear fishing, men and women alike are most likely to go a little crazy over the next little while without any sex, and that may lead to some rash decisions once the quarantining stops. From Brian in March 2010 at Bin CVR, if the coronavirus doesn't take you out, can I? If the coronavirus doesn't take you out, can I? Okay. I've heard some bad pickup lines, but seriously? Okay. I'll give him credit. That he's working with what he's got. All right. So let's just say that whenever it's cool for people to start partying again, it's possible that all kinds of people will be looking to get lucky pronto. Once people have gotten a COVID-19 vaccination, caution will be thrown to the wind with a desire to put their body to good use. We're all having fun, but that doesn't mean you should go out there completely exposed. In other words, bring condoms. Even if you're not in danger of catching that virus, there are other infections that can be transmitted during sex. Yes. Is this a cheeky term that we have just invented? Yes, but there is some basis in the truth. Also, yes. And the term they say is, oh God, I can't believe I'm contemplating hooking up with my roommate, Chad, right now. I had the worst case of corona cabin fever. Seriously? I'm still stuck on the bear fishing. I don't know about you guys. I'm still stuck on the bear fishing. That's just bear fishing. And there's a sorry, I'm going back to bear fishing because it just blows me away. Gila Pfeiffer at Gila Pfeiffer updates Tinder profile pic to feature a case of toilet paper. I need a drink right now. Seriously, I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do with this bear fishing. What's going on here? Okay, Kenny. No, we've done that one. Yes, I'm amazed you're still awake, Sandy. Still awake. It's early morning for you, so I appreciate you sticking with us, girl. That's just, yeah. These people's pickup lines are pathetic. Exciting as watching wallpaper. wallpaper or someone, plastering their, building a wall of toilet paper in their bathroom, Kenny. Seriously, I'm just like bear fishing. I know. I'm lost for words, guys. I'm lost for words. We were going to cover a few other terms that we're using throughout the dating scene. We might cover them next week because we're a little bit over an hour. I don't want to keep you guys up. I know some of you have to go to bed and soon, and some are in bed probably watching because it's 4 a or 5 a.m. in the morning for them. So, been an interesting night, isn't it? We've had learnt about how many people are getting scammed by relationships, and the overall consensus when it comes to our question of the night is no, we are not. We were not set up with the psychological or the mental tools required for us to be happy. It's quite true. And it's just crazy. Jayson, where did you find this crap? Well, this one is on a website called askmen.com. I get Google alerts each week with some of the great stories. And someone did ask me about covering a couple of other terms, which I might cover next week, we didn't get to, which is like catfishing and stuff like that. Well, we did cover catfishing, really. We got dog fishing and we got bear fishing. So I think we did cover it a little bit, but there are a few other terms I like to cover. But I don't want to keep you guys because it's been an hour. I thank you for your time for this hour and want to keep it as not much longer than an hour. We're at an hour 15. Want to wrap it up, but I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I hope this has been helpful, has given you an insight of what it'd be like to be single if you're married, Kenny, and if you're single, how to watch yourselves. And maybe it's time to find a partner. Who knows? But as I've always said, I'd rather be happy and single than in a relationship and unhappy. Okay? So don't go bear fishing someone. Don't go quarantining and chilling someone if you're not wanting just a one-night stand to fix the little areas up that you need fixed. What's Sandy got to say? Bear fishing. Bear fishing now. Really? Are you? Okay. All right. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Thanks. Great watching. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, April, who was on earlier. I don't know if April's still there. Who else did we have? We had Paul. We had, and all of you that will be watching the replay. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. As we leave, as I said, one last time, if you're watching this, please drop us a question, your answer in there, hashtag QA. On balance, did your childhood set you up for the mental tools required to make you happy in your life? Just curious to know if you did or you didn't. Okay. So, yes, that's it for us tonight. We will be back again. Just making sure we got everything covered. Yes, we will be back again Wednesday night, same bat time, same bat station for Ask Jay, where I'm going to answer a particular relationship question that you may have sent in to me. So if you've sent one in, I'm not going to tell you if it's you or not, but you will have to tune in Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, and let me know if you want a question answered. DM me at the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. By all means, send me a message, send me an email at j@jasonmair.com. And if you want some relationship help and you want a coach, by all means, call me, email me, jump in, let us know what you think. Let us know what your situation is going, how it's going, and what we're dealing, and see if I can help out, because that's what I'm here for. I can't do what I'm doing without you guys. I can't succeed if you guys aren't succeeding. So thank you again for watching. As we jump over to our final part of the program, I'm going to say goodbye. But till next Sunday night for Simplified Relationships, by all means, look forward to seeing you next Sunday night. Or if you're around Wednesday night, same time, ask Jay, and we will talk to you then. Till then, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of this. Love your work. Love you all wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon, good evening. As Jim Carrey would say, good night. Here we go.